What is going on, everybody? DJ Minds here. So look, we're going to get straight into this one. I will be reacting to a fellow YouTuber's video. I did get his permission. I know a lot of people like to find that or ask that for whatever reason. His name is Mining Stacker. You can see here. I said, yo, do you mind if I react to your video? Not at all, bro. Please do. The reason I wanted to react to this particular video is because it's a very important topic, at least to me, and it's entertaining. I love the talking head videos, and it is titled Crypto Mining at a Loss. Whether it's GPU mining, ASIC mining, or any crypto mining, let's discuss. I'll put a link in the description below. Please watch the full video as well. Support him. It's 35 minutes. I will not be watching all 35 minutes of it, fair warning. But let's see what he has to say, man, because some good takes in here.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Moda, and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a very hot topic lately, and
ooh, I love hot topics. Give me that controversy.
And it's one of my favorite topics.
Me too.
Right?
Me too.
For those of you guys who have been watching me for a while, the first big video I really did was regarding this topic specifically, and it's about mining at a loss. So we're going to talk about both sides, right? Why it's maybe not the best idea, why it can be a good idea, and give you real world numbers, right? Give you actual numbers as to
Okay, I like that.
why maybe you should, why maybe it's not the best idea, but for you to make up your own decision, right? It's one thing to talk about theoreticals and another thing to talk about actuality, right? So I want to give it a good debate. I'm going to talk about it back and forth. So if that sounds good, guys, stay tuned.
Gonna have a debate with himself. I like it. He's gonna do both sides in his head, so that's good. Yeah, my personal thoughts before watching the video, if I watched a couple minutes of it, I would consider mining at a loss, but it can't be a major loss. I'm never that guy that's like, you have to mine no matter what, man. Yeah, just no. I'm not supporting the electric company. It's got to be smart. Depends on the day. It depends on the situation.
Very hot topic lately. Want to give a huge shout out to Jump Change XD.
Jump Change!
He did a live stream recently about it, talking about it pretty bluntly.
Yep.
Which is good. Again, none of this is financial advice, and I'm not trying to persuade you to do either way.
Okay.
Right? There's going to be reasons for both sides, but what I like about that is that he gave a fair shot at that side.
Yeah, I definitely think Chump Change is in a good position to talk about this because he's at like 25 cents. I think he might even be pushed up to 30 cents soon. I'm at 17 cents, so I'm in that middle ground. 10 cents is kind of where you want to be, and under, I'm definitely not there. I'm not quite as bad as a lot of people in like Europe or something. So yeah, I think Chump Change talking about this topic is very important. And you know, a lot of people that have 7 cents, 8 cents, 6 cents, they say mine to the moon, but the people with over, not as much. So yeah.
My biggest beef with a lot of the, not necessarily beef, let me rephrase that. My issue with a lot of the other opinions is that they never gave the other side a chance.
Is he talking about us?
Past
I don't know.
3-4 months, probably even longer, it's been a fairly one-sided argument, right? Just mine at a loss, mine at a loss. It's okay. It's going to be worth it in the end. Mine at a loss, mine at a loss.
Listen, if you're a content creator, if you just only talk negative, I mean, what's the point of having it on the channel, right? Like, I guess you could have a channel that just talks really bad about mining. Yeah, sure. I guess you could do that. That's one way of doing it. At the same time, if you're a content creator, I would assume that you believe in crypto mining. And you can see, man, I'm doing a lot of this crypto mining at a loss. My Bitcoin miner, the S19 XP is good, but my coin miner is a major L, and I'll still try to do that as much as I can. So definitely some good benefits to like warming your home and stuff. Absolutely, for mining at a loss. At that point, it's not really a loss, but let's let them talk a little bit more.
So the number one argument I tend to get a lot is that they want to mine it to support that project.
Yeah,
right?
I hear that a lot.
And that does make sense, right? Because every network does need hash rate in order to validate blocks, mint new blocks, verify transactions, etc. And that makes sense, right? But I'm going to give these specific examples with Flux, okay? Again, nothing against Flux.
I love Flux.
I love Flux, right? For those of you, I now do have a little catalog of videos, and I'm sure you guys can now see that I'm not anti-mining. I'm not anti-Flux.
We get it.
Okay, those first few videos I did, that's what I was called. Saying, I was like, why are you doing a mining channel if you're...
You know what I say to those guys? Fuck them.
So anyways, I'm going to give the specific example with Flux because a lot of it really pertains to Flux. Okay, it's not only Flux.
Okay, I got to say something here, and I can tell he's being genuine. I mean, he's being good, and he's just trying to be careful. That's fine, do your thing. For me, though, Flux is a little bit different. The reason I say that, Flux has came into my live streams so many times, man. They've gone to Misfit Mining. I've seen them everywhere. They've collabed with me and the hobbyists. They are in the community. They're active. They've retweeted us, all of us, man. I never have made a penny from Flux ever, but the amount of times that they'll just support the community and show us in one of their newest videos and stuff, they're out there in the community. So specifically to Flux, I would rather support them over a lot of the other companies or other coins, or other crypto projects, simply because they support us. Again, not financially, but they're there for us, man. They're in the chat laughing with the boys when we're like 22, everybody's spamming it all together, and it feels like they're part of the team. And I really like that about them. Ergo has shown love. I think right after Ethereum merge, shout out to Ergo for that. But other than that, Reptorium did come on the show one time. Shout out to Reptorium. Other than that, though, at least in my personal experience, I haven't seen a lot of these projects support the content creators and their communities. So I think Flux, I wouldn't mind, and I don't mind mining at a little bit of loss to support Flux specifically.
So let's go look at a hash rate chart.
Okay.
My biggest thing was saying that it's not going to necessarily, not that it doesn't matter, but it kind of almost doesn't. Flux is a layer 1, yes, but it's not one where like how it was with ETH in the past, where we needed like
layer 1
transactions. We needed more. This is not that kind of network. Just the same as it was chugging along just fine when it was down to 1 or 2 mega souls, it's going to be fine if the hash rate drops, guys. There's no need for it to have been at 8 mega souls, or even recently, right now it hit, I think, almost 10 at one point. It does not need that much hash rate. Okay, it's not that kind of network.
The thing is, once Ethereum went away, I mean, it's not like he's wrong. I don't know if I would word it quite like that. It doesn't need hash rate. I mean, who doesn't want hash rate for their project? That shows you're doing something right or it's profitable. So everybody need a home after Ethereum merge. That's why it exploded like that. Ergo did. I mean, pretty much everything has more hash rate, simply because a lot of GPU miners don't have anywhere to mine. So I'm not going to say I disagree with it. I'm just not sure how that's relevant to the debate, but let's listen more.
Plus, there's plenty of big farms who have that, 5-cent kilowatt hour, who will keep the network chugging. It's going to be fine.
That's
Especially
true.
for those of you guys with over an 8-cent kilowatt hour. Because I think when I broke it down, I think you pretty much had to be at about 5-6 cents kilowatt hour in order to be even break even, right? So any of you guys over 10, which is the majority of like at-home miners,
It's me.
you're wasting your money.
Oh, God. Now, is he talking about after the merge, or is he talking right now? Now, after the merge, yeah, I mean, mining anything was pretty rough on the GPUs for quite some time, of course. These days, things been getting a little bit better, to be honest. Even at my 17 cents, I'm not losing that much per GPU, and I'm simply doing it for heat. So for in my specific situation, it's not bad at all. Nexa's pretty good. There's some good projects out there that are either profitable around that 10 cent, 15 cent mark for sure, or just losing a little bit. So, but he made a really good point there, and I thought that was worth talking about. The big mining operations are going to mine. So, yeah, I get what he's saying on this. I'm not going to say I disagree. I kind of agree with it, actually, to some extent. Like, there are massive farms mining these GPUs. So if you're looking at it from a financial viewpoint, which I assume he's looking at this from specifically profitability, not like hopium, not like your feelings or anything. So yeah, that's true. Whether you're on there, little Timmy, or I'm on there, we don't really matter that much. However, if enough little Timmys and people like myself, I guess I'm a Timmy as well, get off, then it's going to hurt over time. So let's listen more here.
You're not supporting the project by doing that, okay? If
I disagree.
The only thing you are supporting is your electric company.
Some truth to
They're
that,
the
for
only
sure.
ones benefiting from it. You can make the argument if that excess money was going towards Flux, it was going towards, the devs supporting that project, then I get it. It would make sense. Support it. That's not what's happening, though.
It's a hard pill to swallow hearing that, for sure. And again, I don't think he's wrong. We are supporting the electrical company. Of course we are. But if you have a lot of hash rate, a lot more people start talking about it. And I'm assuming, I've never been an investor, but I'm assuming investors like, oh, look, hey, they're getting some traction over here. I would assume they want to see more hash rate than less hash rate, more people mining than not mining. So he's not wrong about paying the electric company, but yeah, I think it's a little bit wrong. I think more people mining is a good thing for sure on your project.
Those of you guys with a more higher electric rate, you're literally just supporting your electric company. And if anything, because of the fact that you can get twice as much flux by buying it versus mining it,
True.
You're doing the network a disservice.
True.
Specifically with Flux, because you are incentivized to hold more Flux. Okay, you can have more nodes. You can upgrade to a higher tier node. You can stake it in a Titan node.
Parallel assets
You're
are good.
literally incentivized to hold more flux.
Yeah.
Therefore, you would actually help the network out by doing that.
I wonder, because that's a bold statement there. You help them more when you have twice the amount of coin. So when you like purchase the coin, I don't know. I would have to talk to somebody from Flux about that. Maybe they could tweet me or hit me up on Discord to answer that. Does purchasing the coin help as much as stabilizing everything? I also think he makes a valid point though, because if you have twice the amount of coin, then you could have twice the amount of nodes. So definitely a W take. Oh God, this is tough. He's making some valid points.
Okay, it's gonna be fine. Again, guys, even if this goes to half, it's currently down to 5 megasouls. Even if it goes down to 2.5, it's gonna be fine.
Will it though?
Guys at the cheaper electric rate, they're gonna hold it down until the price action goes up. Maybe we get more transactional volumes at the end of the year when proof of use for work comes out, and we do need more transactions processed. Then the incentives are going to go up, and it's going to make more sense to jump back in.
He's saying even if it's at 2 megasouls right now, in his opinion, it's not really harming Flux as a project. Again, that's where I kind of disagree. I think more traction. But he's saying like right now, there's not a lot of people talking about Flux because he wants to talk about specifically Flux. There's not a lot of people talking about it. There's not a lot of people transacting on it. I kind of doubt that. I would assume there's a lot of people doing things on Flux. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think at this point.
Right now, the problem is there's just like, I think rapid mining is one of the few who's been preaching it. There's just too much hash on the networks. That does not need all this hash rate. It is not that kind of a layer one. So just keep that in mind as far as if that is your argument regarding it.
Again, you don't need that much hash rate. Then what would drive it? What would get investors interested? What gets people motivated when it's like losing users, when it's losing miners? I don't know about that.
Another argument we hear often is that it is only a loss if you sell.
I hear that one a lot.
Technically, that is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not at a loss. Just same thing as if you buy any coins, you're not at a loss until you sell. You hold that thing, it is going to accrue value. My argument though with that is that by not mining it, by buying it directly, I can accrue so much more.
Very, very true. I definitely have caught flack for saying that, but that is 100% true. And not all situations. It depends though, right? There's certain times of the year, there's certain days, there's certain weeks where like absolutely it is way more beneficial for you and your wallet to just flat out buy it, because it depends. Like, what is your goal? Is your goal to burn electricity? Is your goal to just simply mine just to mine? Or is your goal getting that crypto, collecting as many coins? And if your goal is to get rich or get wealthier, right, improve your well-being, then in my opinion, your goal would actually be trying to get the crypto, trying to get the coin. So he's absolutely right, especially people like Chump Change, even me, 17 cents, which is still not good at all. It's certainly better in certain situations, certain times of the month to just flat out buy. Absolutely.
Again, if it was only a 5% difference, 10% difference,
yeah,
not that big of a deal. But when you're literally getting 2 to 3 to 4 times as much by just buying it versus mining it, I don't see the sense in that.
That is very true, and I would agree with him. I don't think that you're getting 2 to 3 to 4 times the amount of coin, even at our crappy electric rate. I could be incorrect. Let me know if I'm wrong for sure. But yeah, no, there's definitely a big difference between getting 50% more coin and just mining at a massive loss. 100% agree with that.
Right, but that is purely up to you. But again, if that is your mindset, then it makes more sense to have more flux, so that you are holding it, so you can take advantage of that investment. So just keep that in mind. Like, yes, that is true, right? It's only a loss if you sell. But my biggest thing is that if I'm going to accrue more by buying it, I'm going to do that, okay? Because like me, my personal mining strategy has been from the get-go, right? Ever since I turned off with the merge, I had that plan already. That same amount of money I was using in electrical, right? Those $600-700, whatever it is, I'm still using that money, okay? I'm still acting as if though I was still mining, but instead of burning that in electrical, I'm using that to now buy the coin instead, because
Definitely true. 100% true for a lot of people. I would argue most people after the Ethereum merge, if you have been dollar cost averaging, you probably have significantly more amounts of coin than people, unless they're like that 6, maybe 7, but definitely 6 and under. You certainly have a lot more coins than these guys at a better price. 100, yeah, definitely.
I'm accruing so much more. So yes, my GPU miners have been off, but I'm still accruing. I'm still going. We're in a bear market. This is the goal, to keep accruing.
Smart.
Okay. But I don't have it at like a fixed rate. I'm not going to buy like, okay, at the first of the month, no matter what the price is, I'm going to buy. No. If the price is up that week, I'm not going to buy it that week.
Smart.
Okay? But I am still
W.
accruing that money. That money is going into a separate account. It's going there and it's just waiting for it.
W.
Waiting
W.
for that dip. Now, if I didn't buy for 3 months, and then we have a huge dip, I'm going in hard. Just like during this FTX flush when it went down to 40-something cents, those few months I didn't buy, I went in hard.
Smart.
Okay, that's exactly why I did that video at that time, specifically with Flux, because I was able to accrue so much more buying it at that price than mining it. Okay, and even that calculation I did, I mentioned it that it was there, but I didn't even take into account the halving. Okay.
Oh, he knows how to say halving correctly. Oh, I never made it to this far in the video. My man, everybody says halvening, like there's an EN in the middle. Shout out to him for that.
I accrued so much more by doing that versus buying it, or versus mining it, I should say. Keep that in mind. Another argument I heard recently, which doesn't make sense, it's people were saying like, oh, you know, if you're looking at profits daily, it doesn't make sense because by the time you add up all your transaction fees, if you're doing that daily, you're going to have so many transaction fees.
I wouldn't worry about those at all.
Who the hell is going to be doing it daily? That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I understand once a month because that's when you're paying your electric, but like to make that argument, that's like in bad faith, right? I'm not going to sit here and mine, okay, I mine 30 cents. I'm going to sell 28 cents worth every day. We're not going to be doing that.
Oh my God. Yeah, we got to get this guy on Misfit Mining, or I got to get him on a stream or something. This guy's cool. I like this guy. I think he's going to take off on YouTube Explore Run for sure, man. No, W takes on that, man. I've never thought of that. That was pretty funny the way he says it. Like, who's selling every day? If you know, if you only made 2 cents or whatever it is, you're selling your exact electric. I think, though, when people say that, I don't think they literally mean every single day. I don't think anybody is thinking that. I hope not. The only person I know that actually sells to cover electric at the moment is Rabbit. Shout out to my boy Rabbit over there. But I think your average person more than likely is holding it for quite some time and then selling it. So I get what he's saying. It was funny the way he said it.
Okay, we're going to sell when it makes sense to sell. When the price is up, we're going to go. When it dips, we go low.
Yeah.
If that's your strategy. My whole reason for looking at the profits, whether it's profitable or not, is again just to justify whether or not I'm going to be buying or mining at that time. Doesn't mean I'm looking at it every day or I'm doing it every day, but I am accruing like monthly. Every month, that money again I would have paid for the electric, I have it there. Whether I buy it or not at that time is up to your strategy. I don't have a fixed time. I do have a fixed time where I allot that money, the first of the month, or I think it's the 7th of the month is when my electric bill was due. At that point, that money that I was using towards it goes into that separate account, okay? And then I decide whether or not I'm gonna buy at that point, okay? Like right now, these past few weeks, been a horrible time to buy, right? Because we had a huge pump. It was up over $1 recently, to 74 cents.
Yep.
If I was in the market to buy, okay, now would probably be the time to buy because we had this dip.
Agreed.
But me, that's not what I'm looking at right now because I bought way back when it was at 40 cents.
I want to be very transparent about this. I think he is financially educated, definitely. I know I'm pretty decent at trading as well. I do warn, though, I don't think your average Timmy out there, because there's a lot of people, no offense, a lot of people are not experienced in the market. And I'm not talking about crypto, I'm just talking about markets in general. I think a lot of people are going to lose money more than likely dollar cost averaging because they don't really know when or they don't know how. I know it's a very simple thing, but a lot of people, man, they FOMO into it. They see the price going up, they think it's going to keep going up, and they start dollar cost averaging, and then it drops. You see, there's probably a ton of people who are buying at 80, 90, 95 cents. You would think not, but believe me, there's more people that are buying at the peaks or at the tops, and they're really missing out on a lot of those movements. So I do warn most people, unless you've been doing this for a little bit or you have some experience, be careful. That's all I would say. Be careful because most people, 90% of day traders do lose out on money. And to be clear, you're a day trader if you hold for 1 year and under. It has to be 366 days or more to not be considered a day trader. So I do want to just warn a lot of people. Be careful, man. If you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it.
So another one I hear of a lot is that, well, it's all a write-off.
It's all a write-off. I hear that all the time.
Write off my equipment, write off my electrical, write off my internet, write off the space. And yes, 100% do that. That is the smartest way to do it. Okay? All my equipment I have, all my electrical, all my internet, all these ASICs I'm buying, all those are write-offs. But again, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to give the example specific with the GPU mining. Mine what's most profitable and then buy the coin you want.
Valid.
That way you're still benefiting from all those tax write-offs still, and you're still accruing the coin you want.
That's a tough one for a lot of people to hear. Absolutely, man. There's so many people who just are so stubborn. And again, I don't care what your motives are, you do your thing. But there is a lot of people that don't want to do that. And I've never written off power or any of that internet. I need to start doing that. I definitely need to get better at doing that and tracking that. The thing that scares me the most about that is almost every single time I've done that, not for mining, but for like other things, like claiming a laptop for being a student, every time 2 or 3 years later, the IRS hits me up and I have to fill out all this paperwork and prove it. And I've always got flagged, like every single time. So I do get scared, and I wonder how many people are going to get flagged down the road for, you know, claiming that much electricity, claiming all these things. So definitely talk to like a financial advisor or someone before doing that. Just be careful. I'm sure you can do it. Just be careful. So I don't know.
At the max. Okay, again, people still try to argue this point, like, oh, nope, staying with Flux. I don't care. Even though with these other coins, there's coins that are profitable, guys. GPU mining has been profitable for a few months now, if you've been following it. Between, you know, Caspa's the one that started it, Nexa, Dynex, these have all been profitable for quite a while. Even if you don't care about these coins, but you're still fixated on GPU mining, mine what's most profitable, sell it, buy your Flux. Buy whatever coin you're into. That way, again, you're still taking advantage of the electrical, you're still taking advantage of writing off your hardware, you're still taking advantage of all those things, and still accruing more Flux.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, these are all things that, yes, we're all taking advantage of. So again, but that's still not a valid argument to mine something at a loss when other things are profitable. Okay, at the times when I made those videos, like
Wow, that's definitely something I have thought. I don't know if I articulate it quite as well as he did. That makes a lot of sense, man. Like if you're being really stubborn and you're just like, I'm gonna mine this. Nope, this is, you know, you could get these other things that are way more profitable or actually are profitable, and you're intentionally making the financial decision or deliberately making the decision to lose money. If you think about it like that, the way he's wording it, he's essentially saying you are purposely saying, I am burning money, I'm throwing money away. Because you say, oh, I like Flux or I like Ergo or whatever it is, right? The way he says it makes a lot of sense. Like, if you really like them, then why don't you mine this other thing and trade it into that? Now, the counter argument to that is a lot of these are poo-poo coins, man. No offense to Dynex, Nexa, Alephium. I'm not calling them all poo-poo, but what I'm saying is we don't know anything about these projects. Yes, they're hot right now. We've seen this a million times. We've seen this with Neoxa. We saw it with Meowcoin. You'll see so many coins in Caspa. They just pop off, they're huge, everybody gets on it, and then it's like, it's doing okay after that. Something more established like an Ergo, like a Flux, you can feel more confident, I think, at least at the current making of this video in February 2023, that could completely change, but you don't really know what the long-term effects of mining those are, again, unless you're just selling every day. But even him, he said in his own video, he's not selling every day, I guess for mining specifically. So I see both sides to it. Really valid point, though, regardless.
October, November, prior to Nexa, prior to Dynex, Caspa was just barely becoming profitable. Then you had more of an argument, okay? But since then, we've had Radiant, we've had Nexa, Dynex,
Radiant,
all these that continue to be profitable. Something has been profitable for the past few months, okay? So again, you can still take advantage of all these things and still accrue more Flux if that's your end game. Even if you don't believe in Dynex, you don't believe in Nexa.
Yeah, valid.
Mine what's most profitable, buy what you want, okay? Accrue the most you can for the least amount of money.
Yeah.
That is my whole goal.
I like the way this guy thinks. Again, I don't agree with everything, and you don't have to. He thinks similar to myself, looking at this from like a financial, I don't want to say background, I don't have a finance background, but a financial mindset. Absolutely. Like, I love crypto, I love doing all the building, but at the end of the day, I am here to change my life. I am here to make my children's life better. I would assume a lot of people are. And he thinks from like the money aspect of it, and that's really important. Money first, everything else is awesome and you love it, but you got to think about the money first if you're trying to change your life. And so this is great, man. I'm really glad that I found this channel a couple days ago, man. Shout out to this guy.
The other one I get a lot of is that I'm just mining and holding because I'm spec mining. I'm speculating on the fact that yes, Flux's USD value is only this amount, but in 2 years it's going to be worth $5, right? So I'm purely spec mining. Number one, you're not really spec mining because it's already on an exchange. Okay, for you to be spec mining, it'd be something that's purely speculative, that there is no market for, that you cannot buy.
Well, which exchange though? Are we talking Coinbase? Oh, you know what I mean? We're talking Coinbase level, Or are we talking like Trade Ogre? Because I like Trade Ogre. I use Trade Ogre, but Trade Ogre will take just about anything. So which exchange? Is that his definition? I don't know. I mean, I've never Googled what the official definition of spec mining is, but I would say spec mining is something that's not established in the community. Maybe that's just my own version. Ergo, I wouldn't really call that super spec mining. It is in a way, yeah, but I wouldn't call it like as I don't want to say dodgy, but as risky as something like Dynex. We don't know anything about Dynex or Nexa, or very limited about Alephium and stuff. I hope they do well, by the way. But I think there's definitely different levels to the spec mining. I would consider more spec mining like quote unquote poo-poo coins, brand new coins, like when Ravencoin Lite came out. You know, you do it when it first comes out. Let me know what your definition is, but I don't know if there's like an official definition. I do feel like that's the most accepted definition. Is kind of the one I just said.
Just had this Aleo test now. We've had Ironfish. That's spec mining. Okay, that's a whole different thing. You doing it this way, I get what you're saying, and it is a very valid argument. Okay, because at this point, yes, the fiat value is only 70 something cents, and you're predicting that it's gonna be worth $5, and you're looking at it like that.
Well, that's the whole point of crypto, though, isn't it? You're hoping one day this thing takes off. That's literally the point, of, at least for me, in proof of work. Otherwise, I just go to proof of stake. Yeah, you're always thinking, man, look at the past bear run, or look at the past bull run. Look at what it used to be. Look what it could be. That's kind of the point of following these projects like Flux or your Ergos or whatever it is, Ravencoin, whatever that might be for you. That's kind of the point. You assume that it's going to be worth more later. So yes, you might be taking a little loss right now, but it should, or you hope it's going to be worth a lot more later. But again, he has a really good point. Like, yeah, if you think it's going to be worth more later, why not just buy the coin and get twice the money or 50% more of the money? All valid points. All valid points.
But again, from my perspective, I'm going to accrue more of that.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm going to have more value because I have more coins for the same amount that I'm spending.
Smart.
So yes, you're true, but if you buy it versus mining it, you're going to get X amount more. In Flux's case, currently right now, it's twice as much.
Twice as much? Is it really? Oh, because the halving. Okay. But I don't know, though, because the hash rate has gone down almost half. We're not quite there, but almost half. So, you know, a lot of miners did come off. So I haven't been able to really test that too much. I took off most of my rigs in my home. I'm just trying to save up for some ASICs right now. But anybody who's been doing that, let me know. So yeah, he's not wrong.
In the past, it's been as much as like the last time I did a Flux video, it was 3 times as much. Okay, again, 5%, 10%, not that big.
3 times?
300%, 200%, pretty significant, especially if you have a decent sized farm.
If I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say, yes, in fact, he could get 3 times as much flux or 2 times as much flux. And he said he did it. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. That would make you a fool if you're intentionally burning the money. If you haven't done the math, like apparently I haven't, then okay, you know, you think in your mind, oh, I'm only getting like 15% less, 20% less. If we're talking 2 to 3 to 4 times, all right, I might need to start buying a little bit more coin than I have been.
Okay, it can be huge, right? It can be a difference if you have, let's say, X amount of gigahash, where it could be the point where, okay, I'm mining it, I'm accruing 1,000 flux a month, but by mining it, you would accrue 2,000.
Yeah.
Throughout the span of the year, that's almost the whole nother, like, what, Stratus node or Nimbus node.
Cumulus, right?
Factor that in. That's a lot of money you're leaving on the table by doing that.
Yeah.
Daily, okay, half a flux, whatever, but think long term, especially if that's your argument that you're gonna hold long term. Think about how much more you would accrue long term.
Yeah, valid.
Factor that in also.
Really good point.
All right, so now we're gonna go with reasons.
Oh man, yeah. The longer scale that you think of it, the more it makes sense to buy in certain situations. Absolutely. If you think day to day on a small scale, like he said, who really cares? But the longer you think about it, that shit adds up, man. We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollar difference that you would have gained in certain situations for certain people, certain times of the year. All right, and I think that's going to wrap it up. We've been going on for quite some time. Let me know. Listen, if you made it to this part in the video, put in hashtag card. Hashtag card, C-A-R-D, and then I'll know you made it. And let me know if you like this style of video. I think this is really interesting. One, because I like watching reaction videos myself all the time. I watch reaction videos, even if it's not in the crypto world, because nobody's really doing this kind of content. But I like watching this kind of stuff. Let me know if you do as well. But two, and probably more importantly, it gives a shout out to a new content creator, something that I found interesting. And I hope that you'll subscribe to him. I'll put a link in the description below for his YouTube channel. Please do also check me out on Twitter, join my Discord, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ Minds, signing out.